We're going to show a repair and rebuild of a Delta faucet. You can see what's happening right there. We're having some water leak through the base of the... So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the right hand side with a Allen wrench. I've already loosened that. Alright, so this is what we're faced with. Just need a wrench to remove this nut right here. Need a screwdriver, just pry up very slightly on that. And then we can see this assembly right here. Alright. So what happens when we turn the knob, this black piece rotates and it sits on a seal, and we'll replace that as well. And it just goes from opening to closing. And so we can pull this plastic piece off. Whoops. Like that. And so we see that this is an O-ring that we can replace, and then this bottom O-ring right here we can also replace. And we do that with a repair kit, about $3, $4, $5 from a home repair store, and it has everything in it that we need. So just to review what we have the screw that held everything down, this insert, we have the O-ring that goes over that, and this shaft goes up through here containing that O-ring there. And here's the rebuild kit with the two O-rings. You can also see this spring and this other seal here, and that goes right down there. So we'll have to pry that old one out and get the new one inserted in there. There's a few inside after draining the water. So that's the O-ring or the little seal, and there's a spring under there. So I'm just going to take a nail and pry that old. So here's the old seal and the spring, and there's the old spring. So the reason these things start to leak oftentimes is the sealing surface, which is that top surface right there. You can see it's not very smooth, so it just will wear out from the rotation or whatnot, or junk gets on it, and that's why your faucet will start dripping. So the way I have done this before, get this down in there, is to just direct it in like that. Now getting this seal in is a little bit harder. You just have to work it with a small tool or your finger, work it around the edges, and then make sure you get it seated properly. There's no way I can do this with one hand, so I'm gonna cut the video and get this installed, then I'll show it to you. Okay, here's the new seal that's in there, and you just have to work it in and then scoot the edges in. I just use this Allen wrench to push the edges in as I tried to push the whole thing in with the top of my finger. And you just got to work with it a little bit. Just be patient, and doesn't take a lot of force. Just have to get the lip all inside the hole, and also over the spring. And it'll be obvious when you have it in. And the reason water is coming in is because there is leaking from the other side, from the hot side. And the seal is down there pretty well, and it feels flush, and you can feel a little bit of movement if you press down on it. It feels symmetric, moves up and down. So all that looks pretty good. So we'll start the reassembly. We're gonna start the reassembly here. And just inspecting these parts, just wanna make sure there's not too much goop built up on them. This actually looks pretty good. If there is too much, just want to get it off, but not causing excessive scratching, especially on the sealing surfaces like right here. So the shaft looks a little gooped up, but actually feels really smooth down here. So if you want to, you could get some sandpaper, and the best way to do it would be just to twist the shaft while holding the paper so that any scratches go circumferentially, not up and down. And so all we're going to do here is just repeat the disassembly process. Get that O-ring on there, get the larger one O-ring on the body, and install this. Doesn't really matter the orientation at this point. And now this is pretty much set to go. We'll just have to get this piece in the right place, and then we'll try it out. So you also want to check the sealing surface that seals on this larger O-ring right here. Just, you can look at it or just feel it and make sure that it doesn't feel like there's any bumps. If there is, then you need to get some sandpaper and very gently sand that down to where it's smooth, so this O-ring has a smooth sealing surface. And so also you should note the indentions right here are from the set screw that goes in and out with the Allen wrench. And so you know that in the off position, the handle should be like that. And that tells you the orientation of this flat part right there. And there's a couple of grooves that line up. So you just get that back oriented like that. And then you can test fit that on there, and it looks like it's working all right. And if everything looks okay, then go ahead and put this piece back in. And you can see where that piece goes based on the inside of the handle there. So it has to go like that or it won't fit back on. Then you can just put this. You're done. Of course, you want to turn the water back on. So I'll reach down under here, turn the water pressure on, and check it for any leaks. So there's no leaks right now, which is good. So let's just put this back on real quick. Tighten that back up. And there we go. And we're gonna also check around here and make sure there's no leaks. Looks fine. And just to make double sure, let's go ahead and take it back off one time and check it out. Looks fine. There's a little bit of wetness on there, but that was from that, which I did not dry off. So let's try it one more time. Just a double triple check. Yeah, looks fine. No drips. So we're good on the cold side. So now we'll go to the hot side.